Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. This is Norm Schrager, the Director of Content at Zenoti, and we are just about a few minutes away from beginning today's session on utilization, or as we call it here, how to fill every available slot in your appointment book. So thank you very much for joining us, for jumping on a few minutes early. I'm going to pause to mute my microphone, excuse me, and give folks a few minutes to settle in and join us who've registered previously. And then we'll get started with the program. Thanks very much for coming by and joining us. Hi, as folks are filing in and getting ready to join us, I wanted to jump on and say hello. My name is Norm Schrager. I am with Zenoti. You are in the right place for today's live learning session on utilization, how to make the most of filling every potential slot in your appointment book. Just waiting for other folks who've registered to jump on and join us. So we'll probably get the program started at about 2 minutes after the hour. We're so glad you've joined us, and we look forward to a pretty interesting and insightful 30 minutes to help you all grow your revenue, earn more simply by the way that you're taking on strategies to make better utilization of your staff and better management of your appointment book. So I'm going to mute my mic and turn my camera off just for a minute or two as folks get settled in, and we'll see you in just a minute. Great. Thank you all for being here. Why don't we get started? And I'll be talking with Lauren, who's our producer today, moving the slides, getting everybody settled in. Let me talk a little bit about what's coming up today on today's program. Utilization we see as the middle portion of 3 keys to regular revenue growth. And our experts will talk about that and put that in the context of a larger plan and a larger strategy, larger growth strategy at your beauty and wellness business. And we'll talk about 5 strategies today. There are more, but we're going to focus on 5 strategies to, as you see in quotes, leave no slot unfilled in your appointment book for as much as you'd like to fill. Along the way, we've got the latest benchmark data for the industry. You'll be the first to see it. This is stuff that our data team has been finding that we haven't even formally released yet. And that'll be part of our presentation today. And along the way, we'll have conversation, we'll have Q&A. And while I mentioned Q&A, it's worth pointing out, probably to the right of your screen is the GoToWebinar panel. And one of the gray bars you see questions. If you tap on questions anytime throughout the presentation, you can type in a question for our panel, for our 2 experts. And as we have Q&A set for the end of the conversation today, the end of the presentation, we'll check your questions and get those answered. If there's anything we don't get to in today's presentation, we will have someone reach out to you personally to answer your questions. I think that's about it. So why don't I introduce today's folks and ask them to come on camera. From Michael Salon, Carly Gordineer is the Executive Director of Salon Operations. And from here at Zenoti, Raj Rairu is the Vice President of Product Management and is an expert in areas of software and aspects of software that are specifically designed to help drive revenue growth in an automated way. Hi, you guys. How are you today?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
Great, great. Thank you for joining the session today. Carly, I'll start with you. Give you a moment to tell us a little more about Van Michael. You guys have been in business, just 4 decades, and are franchising now in Japan. So if you'd like, give us a little color on the world you live in, and put your growth strategy in context for what's going on at Van Michael.
Of course. We are a local brand in Atlanta. Most people that live in Atlanta would know the Van Michael name. We are an Aveda concept salon, not just in Atlanta. Obviously, we are the largest Aveda concept salon in North America. We have 7 full service locations with departmentalized service providers that do cut and color. And then we have a barbershop concept to make our 8th Atlanta location. We are right about 350 employees, around 280 service providers, and our revenues hit almost 31 million last year. So we converted to Zenoti in 2022 and have been looking at different ways to grow our brand. Zenoti has, just been a huge partner for our technology. We were with the same technology for 30 years, so this has been a big jump for us. And I'm also learning about all the different growth strategies for Van Michael with Zenoti's partnership.
Me too, actually. So we're in the same boat. That's great. I'm glad Carly mentioned, obviously, that Van Michael is a Zenoti customer. What we're talking about today is the value of any application of strategy to help grow a brand and grow a business. But of course, the experiences that'll be mentioned here are with Zenoti software, so you'll have a little bit of a taste of that as well. If we move on to, as I had mentioned, the 3 keys to regular revenue growth, and Raj, I'll get this over to you. We're focusing on the middle one today, which is staff utilization, filling every available slot. Maybe you can, I'm going to drop off now and let you take this. Give us some context as to utilization within the framework, this larger framework of what growth really is.
Yeah, so basically Zenoti is, more than just a software to manage, run your operations. We can also help grow your business. And the way we help grow your business falls into one of these 3 pillars. And like Norm said, we're going to focus on the middle one here, but just to give a high level, the way to grow your business is, one of 3 ways, right? The number 1 is maximize your capacity, right? Optimize your appointment book so you can maximize the number of slots you can have. More slots means more appointments. More appointments is more revenue. And once you got all this capacity, you want to make sure you're filling all these capacity, right? So that's the utilization piece. And then finally, the 3rd bucket is, you maximize the capacity, you've filled all the slots. What else can you do? You can increase the average ticket size. But today we're going to focus on this utilization. What are the capabilities? What are the different ways you can make sure that all your slots are filled?
And that gets us to our first set of data from our upcoming 2024 benchmark report. It's a sample of utilization rates that existed throughout the industry in 2023. And we've just chosen these 3 categories. This is industry-wide. This has nothing to do with necessarily with just top Zenoti customers or anything like that. But Carly, when we were taking a look at this metric, you were proud to say that on the left, you're right up there at the top 10%, which is great.
We came just under the top 10. We were at 88% for 2023. And in January of 2024, we are currently at 84%, which I think speaks a lot of volumes in January, which is usually, as salon owners, it's usually our slowest time, January and February. So we've done different drives for utilization, but I agree, keeping service providers busy when they're busy, you're free to do everything else, and money is coming in, right? So the number 1 goal is always to keep those service providers busy. I totally get that. And so we've had several different strategies towards that same specific thing of just keeping the service providers busy, and using different ideas for driving that utilization. Every little bit we can move the needle closer and closer to 100% is our goal.
Let's get into some of those, the 5 strategies that we talked about for today, and I'll jump off again and give this to you, Raj. So the first one is what's usually known in the retail industry as abandoned cart notification. So why don't you take it from here, and I'll jump back in on the in between.
Okay. Yeah, so the abandoned cart, just like what it says, right? So today, like when you go online, you're buying some product on Amazon and you don't finish your transaction, you get a message within the hour or two saying, hey, you were in the middle of a transaction. Do you want to finish it? So we do exactly the same with the online booking piece, where let's say, you're booking an appointment and you pick the service, you pick the location, you pick the provider, you're ready to, hit the final submit button, but you got a phone call, you got busy or something happened and you got distracted and you didn't finish the transaction. And it happens, right? So a lot of times people need a reminder to go back and finish the booking. Otherwise, they'll forget and then they come back and the slot's not available maybe. So what happens is whenever a customer doesn't finish their transaction of booking the appointment, we send a message to them within the 2 hours if they have not booked the appointment yet. And they get a message that says, hey, you were in the middle of booking this appointment. Do you want to click on this link and complete the appointment? They click on the link. It takes them back to where they left off and makes it really easy to finish that booking process. And we've seen a lot of customers, we've seen pretty good results, really good results with a lot of our customers using this capability.
Yeah, Carly, I was going to say, you said that you said you guys, obviously with the utilization rate, you don't have too many openings, but this is something that you put into effect with Ben Michael, yeah?
Yeah, this is something we put into effect just at the end of July, and we've had over 300 recovered bookings. I get the notifications myself. So we have online booking through our website, we have booking through our app, and customers, like Raj said, for any reason might not do it. So alone in January, it's 57 spots. So when we're talking about not having a ton of openings, but 57 appointments is still a huge gap to fill, where you might not have thought about that. Like if a customer comes in and doesn't rebook their next visit and you're not tracking it at all and your utilization is at 80%, that's pretty good. But all these little tools to move the number a little bit more are what's getting us to that 88% and to the 84% in January, and to make sure that those revenues are still coming in. So the abandoned cart is awesome. You can customize the message that it sends to guests. And even for myself, who works in the organization, I have many ways to book my appointment. Sometimes life happens, I get distracted. And so to be able to go back to the service providers and say, everything that you're doing behind the chair, we are supporting you to continue to get you busier and to continue to fill those gaps. And this is one of the things, we don't even have to think about it. It's happening in the peripheral. As your guests, even a new person might just be checking out the business, or your repeat guests. And it's all a form of bringing in guests into those chairs. And that's what the service providers are really looking for, to be able to see that we are having new and innovative ways to really support them in keeping them busy.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to continue to go to you for your points of view along the way. So that's strategy number 1. And thank you, Raj, for breaking it down. Why don't we go to the second one, which I love this. Getting every opportunity for book online activity, either by social media or by Google search results. So once again, Raj, why don't you take this away?
Yeah, this has been a huge capability in our software that we have seen really good results of the number of bookings that come in through social media. And as you have it here, there are 2 aspects to it. One is reserved with Google, right? So when a prospective customer goes online and they're on their phone and they search for, show me a salon near me, or they're looking for a specific location of a salon, in the Google results that show up, As you can see in like the left picture there are some results show up. Some of them have that schedule button right there. And so with Zenoti has the integration with Google to make that happen, where if you're, if someone's searching for a salon and your business shows up on the top of the results, the schedule button is going to be right there. They click on the schedule button, it takes them straight to the booking. And Google has, we've worked with Google to add some additional features here where your services also show up. Like in the top picture there, you can see there's a services tab on the right side. So when your salon shows up in the Google results, if you click on that services tab, Google will actually show you what services you have. And when you pick a service and click on that book button, it'll take you straight to the booking, the Zenoti powered booking page with that service already pre-selected. So it makes it really easy for the customer to, complete that booking straight from the Google search. And we've got this also on Google Maps, where, a lot of people are searching on the map to see where the closest places they can go to. And so from the map directly, they can click on the Book Now button and it takes them there. So this is, a really good tool for you to, acquire new customers and make it really easy for them to, book an appointment.
Yeah, I've come from other healthcare businesses where this was always huge, Google especially. Carly, you actually shared with us how big it's been for you guys, and our guests can see that on the next slide. And if you want to tell us a little bit about how you guys, that's 1,850 bookings since October of 23.
Right. So we've seen this shift kind of in our business. I'm sure other people in the industry have seen it, where we went from having the service providers that wanted the front desk to manage every little aspect of their business for them, to now we're having service providers who kind of want to be more like independent contractors. They want to really manage their own business, but have support and know that the structure is there to support their growth and their business within their own business behind the chair. So having this button where service providers can add it to their own social pages and know that Van Michael has the button in every one of any place where somebody would search for Van Michael, whether it's a social media, Google, wherever it is, we have the button available. And so the service providers feel like this is just one little bit towards independence of growing their own business. But again, it's something that we can manage and we can see the statistics on. So Zenoti, this is something that Zenoti is awesome about, is that we can see how many bookings exactly came from Facebook, how many came from Instagram, how many came from Google, which is obviously where we're seeing our biggest result is Google. And then we can decide what our marketing strategy is around that. So we know now that we have this much traffic just searching for our website, and we have then figured out certain different marketing strategies that we want to do around that.
Yeah, Lauren, if you want to move one more slide, exactly what you were just talking about, Carly. Here's how you guys look just off your Facebook brand page. And what we're showing there is what Raj was saying. You hit that Book Now button and boom, you're sitting right on the opportunity to choose a location in the Atlanta area and then choose your services and your provider.
And that's the thing is we went at Van Michael, I'm sure other businesses are similar, med spa, what have you. When you're solely relying on a customer being able to call and have a human interaction or be able to figure out the booking by themselves, there's a lot left to what if. But having these direct Book Now buttons that look the same on all of our brand pages as the service provider pages, clients are looking on Instagram, clients are finding these service providers in so many different ways, and to give them the tool to finish their booking without having to add the extra layer of talking to a person or figuring out how it's going to happen, that's huge. And it can happen 24 hours a day. Yeah,
no, that's true. Even with Instagram, we have the Book Now capability in Instagram. And one other thing in Instagram, I'll tell you, a lot of businesses have Instagram Reels. And when you're playing a reel, you can have a Book Now button right there on the reel itself. So even that's possible. So it does really make it easy for customers to go get straight to the booking page. One other point I would make on the Google booking is a lot of times it's not just people are searching for salon near me or spa near me. They're searching for specific services. They could be searching for, hydrofacial near me. So in that case, Google, finds those businesses, because we actually send the list of services you have to Google, right? And so Google's actually showing you those businesses that have those services, and then that takes you, and they can click on that service directly and go book that service directly from that page. So, Google has done, a lot of improvements in this capability in the past year.
And that gets us to our first set of data from our upcoming 2024 benchmark report. It's a sample of utilization rates that existed throughout the industry in 2023. And we've just chosen these three categories. This is industry-wide. This has nothing to do with necessarily with just top Zenoti customers or anything like that. But Carly, when we were taking a look at this metric, you were proud to say that on the left, you're right up there at the top 10%, which is great.
We came just under the top 10. We were at 88% for 2023. And in January of 2024, we are currently at 84%, which I think speaks a lot of volumes in January, which is usually, as salon owners, it's usually our slowest time, January and February. So we've done different drives for utilization, but I agree, keeping service providers busy when they're busy, you're free to do everything else, and money is coming in, right? So the number one goal is always to keep those service providers busy. I totally get that. And so we've had several different strategies towards that same specific thing of just keeping the service providers busy, and using different ideas for driving that utilization. Every little bit we can move the needle closer and closer to 100% is our goal.
Let's get into some of those, the 5 strategies that we talked about for today, and I'll jump off again and give this to you, Raj. So the first one is what's usually known in the retail industry as abandoned cart notification. So why don't you take it from here, and I'll jump back in on the in between.
Okay. Yeah, so the abandoned cart, just like what it says, right? So today, like when you go online, you're buying some product on Amazon and you don't finish your transaction, you get a message within the hour or two saying, hey, you were in the middle of a transaction. Do you want to finish it? So we do exactly the same with the online booking piece, where let's say, you're booking an appointment and you pick the service, you pick the location, you pick the provider, you're ready to, hit the final submit button, but you got a phone call, you got busy or something happened and you got distracted and you didn't finish the transaction. And it happens, right? So a lot of times people need a reminder to go back and finish the booking. Otherwise, they'll forget and then they come back and the slot's not available maybe. So what happens is whenever a customer, doesn't finish their transaction of booking the appointment, we send a message to them within the 2 hours if they have not booked the appointment yet. And they get a message that says, hey, you were in the middle of booking this appointment. Do you want to click on this link and complete the appointment? They click on the link. It takes them back to where they left off and makes it really easy to finish that booking process. And, we've seen a lot of customers, we've seen pretty good results, really good results with a lot of our customers using this capability.
Yeah, Carly, I was going to say, you said that, you guys, obviously with the utilization rate, you don't have too many openings, but this is something that you put into effect with Ben Michael, yeah?
Yeah, this is something we put into effect just at the end of July, and we've had over 300 recovered bookings. I get the notifications myself. So we have online booking through our website, we have booking through our app, and customers, like Raj said, for any reason might not do it. So alone in January, it's 57 spots. So when we're talking about not having a ton of openings, but 57 appointments is still a huge gap to fill, where you might not have thought about that. Like if a customer comes in and doesn't rebook their next visit and you're not tracking it at all and your utilization is at 80%, that's pretty good. But all these little tools to move the number a little bit more are what's getting us to that 88% and to the 84% in January, and to make sure that those revenues are still coming in. So the abandoned cart is awesome. You can customize the message that it sends to guests. And even for myself, who works in the organization, I have many ways to book my appointment. Sometimes life happens, I get distracted. And so to be able to go back to the service providers and say, you know, everything that you're doing behind the chair, we are supporting you to continue to get you busier and to continue to fill those gaps. And this is one of the things, we don't even have to think about it. It's happening in the peripheral. As your guests, even a new person might just be checking you out, checking out the business, or your repeat guests. And it's all a form of bringing in guests into those chairs. And that's what the service providers are really looking for, to be able to see that we are having new and innovative ways to really support them in keeping them busy.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to continue to go to you for your points of view along the way. So that's strategy number one. And thank you, Raj, for breaking it down. Why don't we go to the second one, which I love this. Getting every opportunity for book online activity, either by social media or by Google search results. So once again, Raj, why don't you take this away?
Yeah, this has been a huge capability in our software that we have seen really good results of the number of bookings that come in through social media. And you know, as you have it here, there are two aspects to it. One is reserved with Google, right? So when a prospective customer goes online and they're on their phone and they search for, you know, show me a salon near me, or they're looking for a specific location of a salon, you know, in the Google results that show up, as you can see in like the left picture there are some results show up. Some of them have that schedule button right there. And so with Zenoti has the integration with Google to make that happen, where if someone's searching for a salon and your business shows up on the top of the results, the schedule button is going to be right there. They click on the schedule button, it takes them straight to the booking. And Google has, you know, we've worked with Google to add some additional features here where your services also show up. Like in the top picture there, you can see there's a services tab on the right side. So when your salon shows up in the Google results, if you click on that services tab, Google will actually show you what services you have. And when you pick a service and click on that book button, it'll take you straight to the booking, you know, the Zenoti powered booking page with that service already pre-selected. So it makes it really easy for the customer to, you know, complete that booking straight from the Google search. And we've got this also on Google Maps, where, you know, a lot of people are searching on the map to see where the closest places they can go to. And so from the map directly, they can click on the Book Now button and it takes them there. So this is, you know, a really good tool for you to, you know, acquire new customers and make it really easy for them to, you know, book an appointment.
Yeah, I've come from other healthcare businesses where this was always huge, Google especially. Carly, you actually shared with us how big it's been for you guys, and our guests can see that on the next slide. And if you want to tell us a little bit about how you guys, that's 1,850 bookings since October of 23.
Right. So we've seen this shift kind of in our business. I'm sure other people in the industry have seen it, where we went from having the service providers that wanted the front desk to manage every little aspect of their business for them, to now we're having service providers who kind of want to be more like independent contractors. They want to really manage their own business, but have support and know that the structure is there to support their growth and their business within their own business behind the chair. So having this button where service providers can add it to their own social pages and know that Van Michael has the button in every one of any place where somebody would search for Van Michael, whether it's a social media, Google, wherever it is, we have the button available. And so the service providers feel like this is just one little bit towards independence of growing their own business. But again, it's something that we can manage and we can see the statistics on. So Zenoti, this is something that Zenoti has been is awesome about is that we can see how many bookings exactly came from Facebook, how many came from Instagram, how many came from Google, which is obviously where we're seeing our biggest result is Google. And then we can decide what our marketing strategy is around that. So we know now that we have this much traffic just searching for our website, and we have then figured out certain different marketing strategies that we want to do around that.
Yeah, Lauren, if you want to move one more slide, exactly what you were just talking about, Carly, here's how you guys look just off your Facebook brand page. And what we're showing there is what Raj was saying. You hit that book now button and boom, you're sitting right on the opportunity to choose a location in the Atlanta area and then choose your services and your provider.
And that's the thing is we went in this, we went at Van Michael. I'm sure other businesses are similar, med spa, what have you. When you're solely relying on a customer being able to call and have a human interaction or be able to figure out the booking by themselves, there's a lot left to what if. But having these direct book now buttons that look the same on all of our brand pages as the service provider pages, clients are looking on Instagram. Clients are trying to finding these service providers in so many different ways, and to give them the tool to finish their booking without having to add the extra layer of talking to a person or figuring out how it's going to happen, that's huge. And it can happen 24 hours a day. Yeah,
no, that's true. Even with Instagram, we have the Book Now capability in Instagram. And one other thing in Instagram, I'll tell you, a lot of businesses have Instagram Reels. And when you're playing a reel, you can have a Book Now button right there on the reel itself. So even that's possible. So it does really make it easy for customers to go get straight to the booking page. One other point I would make on the Google booking is, a lot of times it's not just people are searching for salon near me or spa near me. They're searching for specific services. They could be searching for, hydrofacial near me. So in that case, Google, finds those businesses because we actually send the list of services you have to Google, right? And so Google's actually showing you those businesses that have those services, and then that takes you, and they can click on that service directly and go book that service directly from that page. So, Google has done, a lot of improvements in this capability in the past year.
Raj, if you want to talk gift cards, over to you.
Yeah, definitely. So, I totally agree with that sentiment. I mean, gift cards are one key way to increase your revenue. And there are a couple of ways that helps increase your revenue because, one of the things, when you have any events, right, or holiday season, right, that's a big driver for gift card sales, or you have Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, right? So during those events, those occasions, what you can do is you can send out like gift card promotions or that help increase your gift card sales. Now, with what we see with gift card sales is we can, you can sell on in store as well, but a lot of customers want to buy them online. So we've got the capability in Zenoti to help you sell the gift cards online. But a lot of times people also want physical gift cards, right? They want to buy a physical gift card and they want to buy it online. So we've added the capability now in Zenoti to sell actual physical cards online. So the customer has the option to say, I want a virtual card or I want a physical card. And if they pick a physical card, they pay for it and it can get shipped to them, or they could even pick it up. So there's several ways to improve that. Now, one of the key, I was talking about two ways that helps increase your revenue. One is, as you see the first point, the number there, 25%. You got 25% of gift cards are redeemed by new clients. What it means is every gift card that you sell, right? Every 4 gift card that you sell, one of them ends up with a new customer, right? I buy a gift card, I'm gifting it to my friend or my sister or whoever, right? It's 1 out of those 4 people who get the gift card are new customers. So when they come in to redeem that gift card, you've just acquired a new customer. So what we've seen is, so that's kind of the benchmark number we've seen is 25% of the gift cards that are sold help you bring in new customers. So it's not just the value of the gift card they're spending, but also you got to look at the lifetime value that you're going to get from those new customers, because they're going to, you know, get a good service from you and they're going to keep coming back. Yeah.
Great. No, I'm sorry about that, Raj. I wanted to throw it over to Carly. Carly, you guys said, and a lot of people are interested in this. You were telling us the other day about a very specific gift card promotion that you guys ran in the holidays that carries over to try to fill some slots in your slower season. Could you share that and how well it went?
So we run a gift card program in November and December. For every $100 in gift cards a guest purchases, they receive an additional $20 gift card to be used in January and February. So this was actually the first year we were able to automate it with Zenodi's help. But in January, all of the guests who purchased the $100 gift card in any increment, so $200 gift card, they got $40 plopped into their guest profile to be able to use in January and February. They automatically expire at the end of February. But again, it was a strategy to add revenue in our holiday season, November and December, to then build utilization in January and February, because the books are filled in November and December. That's the easiest time of the year. The service providers are already busy, so then it's what else can we do to add a revenue stream? That's where we add the gift card promotion. But then knowing that when the service providers are slow, the gift card promotion is there to help them get busy in those slower months. And to this point of these stats, you know, people that spend more on their gift cards, when they come in for those visits in January and February, I hate the term girl math, but if you have $100 on a gift card that somebody gifted you, you didn't ever spend that money, it's easy for you to add on another service, maybe do a lateral booking that day, purchase retail. There's a lot of added value we see to these, what seems like a small amount, a $20 gift card. So in November and December this year, I just got our numbers. We did $151,000, almost $152,000 in gift card sales in November and December as this drive.
It sounds successful to me.
Super successful. I would agree.
Thank you for sharing those numbers too. I really appreciate that. Thank you for moving us on, Lauren. I'm going to drop out again. So Raj, if you would talk a bit about our fourth of 5 strategies, the referral marketing program that folks can really get going.
Yeah, we were just talking about, you know, getting new customers through gift cards, right? Every 25% of the customers from gift cards are new customers. Now, referral marketing is another way to get new customers, right? So, you know, so you can have, within Zenodi, we've made it really easy for your existing guests to, you know, generate like a unique code that is their own and pass it on to their friends and relatives, anybody that they want to refer. So, and then you can set up rewards for both the person who's the guest who's referring and also the new guest. So that way, you know, you're incentivizing your existing guests to do as many referrals as they can. And then you're also incentivizing the new guests to come in and, you know, make an appointment and get that 25% off or whatever discount you're offering. And it's all, you know, you can configure all that in the system. Now, you know, there are different times you are, you know, communicating with your guests today, right? You send them feedback emails or you send them thank you emails after an appointment. And we have an easy way to remind them, you know, with all those different emails that you send them or messages you send them, you can remind them in all of those messages to, you know, give you more referrals and remind them about the reward. So it makes it really easy, especially if you have the Zenodi mobile app for your customers. They can just, you know, go into the mobile app, you know, generate their referral code, and then, you know, on the mobile app, you can easily say, share, you know, click on the share button and text it to all my friends or WhatsApp it to all my friends. It makes it really easy to, you know, send that code to 10 of your friends at the same time.
And I'll tack on to that, sorry to interrupt, but on the back end of that, what's super cool for the business owners and for the service providers is that we can immediately see tied to the guest profile who they've referred. So when I have a guest that comes in, I can see that they've referred 10 people to me. It's so easy for me to thank them, in addition maybe to the automatic thank you that they get through this automated system that, you know, of whatever the free gift would be or whatever the trade-off is for the referral. But it makes it so that you can really get to know your guests as well through this program and see, wow, I didn't even know Carly was the one that was referring me all those people, but she's my business driver and I want to do something for her specifically.
The difference between a one-off referral and an actual program that seems to snowball, it sounds like, from what you guys are.
Program is
saying.
awesome. It helps to really hone in on, you know, you can see the program, you can see where it's working, you can see where you need to maneuver it.
I wanted to move on to our poll question because it hits that exactly. We have one more poll question for everybody, which I'm just about to launch. How would you describe the way that your brand or your business currently addresses referrals? And you should be able to click one of the three answers in the next moment or so as this loads up. Are you taking it as it comes, no active move for to promote referrals? Do you occasionally get some from your clients, or do you have a program like what Carly and Raj are describing? Whether you're doing it manually, whether you're doing it with a current software system, and a lot of folks have already voted. I'll give just another 15 seconds or so. Great thing is we don't have anybody that answered the first option, which is excellent. So there's some referral flow going on for everyone that has responded to us. And thank you for participating throughout the program today. Really appreciate that. So we have some folks who chose number 2 and some folks who, and great for you, already have a referral program. So let's move on to the last of the 5, and I'll let you guys take this for this 5th one. An automated wait list for your walk-ins, for your late cancellations. So go for it, guys.
Yeah, so this is, this is the feature I'm most excited about in Zenoti right now, because, usually what happens in most places when you want to get on a wait list, you got to call the front desk, and the front desk has to put you on the wait list, and then they got to call you back. And it's all typically a manual process. But what we have done is we've automated that whole flow. So like, let's say I'm a customer, I go online to book an appointment and I can't find the slot, I want to book something today afternoon or tomorrow afternoon, and nothing is available with the provider I want to work with. So what I can do is, instead of having to call the salon directly to make the waitlist happen, I can add myself to the waitlist right there in the online booking page. And I can even give the parameters around it. I could say, give me any slot that opens up, in the next 3 days in the afternoon between 2 to 5 p.m. And all that goes into the system. And let's say when a slot does open up due to some last minute cancellation, the system will automatically send the guest a message, the guest who's on the wait list, a message that, hey, this slot opened up at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Would you like to book it? And there'll be a link in that message, and they can click on the link and instantly book that appointment. So it makes that whole wait list and confirming a wait list to a confirmed appointment flow completely seamless for the customers. And, it helps you, fill those last minute cancel slots that open up, in your calendar by having an easy way for customers to get themselves on the wait list. One other thing this feature does that we have, it's really good for your providers. Now, if I'm a provider, I'm a stylist, I can look in my app and see if there is a customer on the wait list waiting for a slot to open up with me. And how that helps me is I could say like, hey, you know what? I'm taking a break at 2 p.m. Maybe I'll shift my break and I'll make that slot available for this customer who's on the wait list. So it makes it, it also helps your providers to increase their bookings by, moving things around and enabling their calendar to be available for whoever's on the wait list waiting for them.
I have to say that this is a feature I am also most excited about, although it's something that we just turned on at Van Michael, so I don't have a lot of stats or results around it. But the wait list has always been sort of contentious, if you will say, if I can say, between the service providers and the front desk staff, because the service providers are too busy to manage it. They're relying on the front desk staff to manage it, who's also busy. And so it's something that could easily fall through the cracks. And a guest has to know to even ask to be added to the wait list when it's all human interaction. So when it's when it's mobile, it's right in the guest face, add to wait list, looks amazing. And for the service providers, again, they don't have to worry that they're going to see their guest in somebody else's chair. The guest has gotten offered this appointment. They know, the guest knows we're doing our best to get service provider's guest in service provider's chair, and it frees up the front desk to not have to spend their time chasing around service providers. Do you want us to call this guest? Is this slot going to fit? Can you move around your schedule? Again, it creates autonomy for the service providers, and we have a strict cancellation policy. So having a way to fill the last minute cancellations, we have a strict cancellation policy, but it's only 6 hours before the appointment. So it's not easy to fill an opening within 6 hours. But if everybody who's on the wait list gets this automated message, we're much more likely to fill that gap than relying on, I don't know, somebody to walk by or call us.
Yep.
Right. Traditional walk-in situation, which is probably less likely with a brand like yours.
Right.
Well, thank you guys. Oh, go ahead, Carly. You were saying.
Sorry, I was just going to say that just the trust between the service providers getting to see, oh, these people are waiting for me. I know that it's being managed. I know that it's being handled.
Yeah, and we know just universally the text messages have a very high open and engagement rate. It does sort of have a one-to-one sort of personal connection feeling, and it's such a great mode of communication between businesses and their customers. I want to let everyone know that you'll be receiving an email with a summary of the 5 points, a link to watch this again or share it with your teams as you wish. Just some quick takeaways that the Raj and Carly, our experts, can jump in on. A high utilization, clearly it grows your revenue, but it's also a retention play for your clients who are finding fulfillment in the things that they're requesting to come get done, and your providers who are staying busier. As Raj hit over and over again, automation for this is essential. It should not be, as Carly said, used to be a contentious relationship for waitlist management, never mind your clients needing to know they actually need to ask for it. Automation removes all that, just an easier situation. It shouldn't be excess effort for the people who are involved. And for whatever software you currently have, if it's not Zenoti, see what it can do. Give yourself the opportunity to apply anything you can to help with things that are designed to drive your revenue, and specifically to make a stronger utilization rate at your locations and an easier day, right? So with that in mind, I want to point out that the third section of revenue growth, which is maximizing the revenue that you earn per ticket, per visit, we will be doing a live learning session just on that. Currently scheduled for February 28th, and we will be happy to share communication with you on that as we get closer. Carly, a question about gift card promotions. Are there others that you have tried? Like I'm assuming the question is related to your $100 for $20 later. Are there other gift card promotions you've tried that you can share with us?
Well, we used to have maybe quarterly, maybe a little less frequently, we would do a guest could we never really had parameters around it. Guests could purchase up to $1,000 and then get 20% additional, but the 20% additional wasn't for certain months. It didn't expire. So it was a great revenue driver for us, but it didn't give us what we needed in utilization for the return visit within a certain time frame. So this promotion for the November and December, when we started it, it was a bounce back just for a retail, for $20 an additional retail purchase. This is the first year that we've done it for retail or service. The guest can come back with the gift card and use it towards anything. And I will say our highest year, we did 100, I want to say like 113,000. And so this took us to 150. I think this would be the promotion for us that we would stick with, is the drive the sales in the drive the sales in the busiest month through the gift cards, and then add on the revenue. But what we were seeing when we just did the blanket 20% is guests would come in and purchase essentially the rest of their services for the year. So then we were really, we say we don't discount our services, but what that turned into was a 20% discount on their services. So to shy away from that, we really wanted to have something targeted in our non-utilized months, or our least utilized months.
I'd heard of that before, where folks come in and just sort of overload to take advantage of that for the next 6 months out. Excellent.
I'm very surprised at what people's like annual budget for hair services is that they can spend in January to get them through the year. But
I would agree.
Smart move.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a great answer to that question. Raj, does the Google booking, or I guess the book online opportunity, does it show up for all types of beauty and wellness businesses? Clearly, we've talked salon. Carly mentioned med spa. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's a good question, because until like a few months ago, Google only supported this the way we do the integration with Google, which is much more advanced integration at the service level. Google had only supported that for salons and spas, and only in the US. But now this is supported in 80 countries around the world, right? So I don't know if we have any Canadians in the webinar today. It's supported in Canada, and they have also started supporting med spas now, so or any medical business for that, except for emergency care. So any spas, salons, med spas, fitness, all these types of businesses in 80 of the countries around the world is supported by Google for Google Reserve now.
Great. I'm looking at the time. We want to be cognizant of folks' time, because we're so appreciative of them, of all of you joining us today, and we'll look to end at about 45 after. So I do have one more question. Does Zenoti send a cart reminder? I'm assuming like a abandoned cart, a cart reminder just for appointments. I'm assuming someone's talking about maybe web store.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was actually going to mention that when we were talking about gift card. I forgot. For abandoned cart. So abandoned cart is not just for online booking, right? Yeah, if somebody doesn't finish their booking, they get a abandoned cart reminder message. We also do it for gift card purchases. So we were talking about online gift card purchases, and that's, we've seen some huge results from that, like the recovered gift card purchases. So same way, if someone's trying to buy a $200 gift card, and they're in the process of buying it online, and then they didn't finish the transaction, we send them a message within the hour, and they can click on that link and complete the transaction. So we've seen a huge impact from that, from the amount of dollars recovered in gift card sales that otherwise would have been abandoned.
Thus the name, abandoned cart. I'm just kidding. That's great. Thank you both. I just want to wrap up with one more visual here, which we like to share after every presentation. If you're only mildly or moderately familiar with Zenoti, we are the industry's most complete software, a single solution for everything that you do, and we're really focused on driving growth across all your locations, whether you have 2 or 200. We currently power around 25,000 businesses across the world. Everything, as Carly mentioned, from your front desk. We have a service provider focused app that's just for them, keeping everyone behind the chair and in your treatment rooms in the know, control of their day, inventory management, advanced marketing, incredible level of analytics and data for as simple or as complex as you'd like it. I'm really keeping you on top of your business and making your days easier while you grow. So with that, Raj, thank you. Carly, thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined us live today. We hope you'll join us for our next growth webinar coming up at the end of February. Thank you, guys.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day, everybody.